Hello there guys, what is going on? Son of Chelsea, back here again. It feels like a while since I've done one of these videos. I have to say apologies. I know I did that about 2 or 3 weeks ago. I was talking about, I want to get back to doing regular uploads. But really, guys, it's the same excuse as last time. I have been absolutely so busy with other work, and it disappoints me because as I've said before, I think since the start of the year, I really have been very consistent with this. So it's a bit of a shame in the last few weeks to kind of stray away from that. But I have lots of things to say. We're back here again today with the West Ham review. The game was earlier, went to the game. I have to say it got a little bit heated afterwards between Chelsea and West Ham fans coming out the ground. There was coins being thrown, which was a little bit a shame to see, but that's the way it is. But today's game, going into it, we had the Everton game last week, and to kind of give you my thoughts, yes, season over basically. I was up at Everton at that game, and it was a very disappointing display. It pretty much was the end of the season. So coming into this game, that's a bit weird because we basically have like 9 pre-season friendlies, or just dead rubbers basically, that pretty much mean nothing. We're not getting top 4, we're not getting relegated. So it's a bit weird, but I think today's game, we had something on the line because West Ham, they are local rivals. I didn't want West Ham coming over to Chelsea and turning us over. So in that sense, if you look at the result, it's not exactly the worst. It's a bit weird at this point because we're not getting top 4, and I know people complain, it's another draw, which it is. The unbeaten run for me is like it was good to a point. You could see that's progress considering how bad our form was when Jose was here, but it's gotten to a point now where that unbeaten record is a bit of a joke, and if you look at the fact that we're not competing on any fronts, we can keep on drawing. It's not good, but I think there are positives from today. I think certain players definitely stepped up. I think especially, weirdly, you have some really good performances from the younger players, the fringe players who come into the team, Kennedy, Traore, and then as well one from an experienced player in Cesc Fabregas, who, I've heard different things. I've heard that Fabregas in the game, he had a terrible first half, and then he was got better as the game went on. For me, in my opinion, we didn't play amazingly in that first half. West Ham deserved to be in front. We got better as the half went on, but for me, when I was watching West Ham and Chelsea, it looked like one team that knew exactly what they wanted to do. Every player on that pitch knew their roles in that team. I'm talking about West Ham. And you had another team that certain players knew what they were supposed to do, but a lot of them looked out of place. We didn't have no structure. Without Diego Costa, that's, I think, one of the things that Conte, when he comes in, is going to have to sort out. We really have no plan B. We've got to be honest with that. Without Costa, a big part of our game goes missing, and that's the problem. I think that's what we have to have. Whether we're changing formation in the summer, whether it's a change of personnel, something has to do so we have at least 2 plans of action within games, because at the moment I think we're still a little bit we've been found out a lot of times this season for our style of play, for the fact that we're consistently relying on Diego Costa, which we didn't have today because of suspension. But for me, Cesc Fabregas was always hungry for the ball, always trying to make things happen, and that free kick right at the end of the first half really did set the crowd alight, because it was looking like a boring day pretty much, in terms of, or a depressing day if you want to put it like that. But that free kick especially was incredible. No keepers, you could put 2 or 3 keepers in front of that, no one saving that. What a free kick from Cesc Fabregas. And for me, he acted like a leader today. We talk about a lack of leaders recently, and I think Cesc Fabregas definitely, since the turn of the year, has really stepped up, in my opinion. I think he has, for me at least. It's weird because, of course, now pretty much we're fighting for nothing, but I think he has earned the respect of a lot of Chelsea fans. He was one of those heavily criticised at the start of the season, and if you look at what he's doing now, I think there's a lot more praise for him, Fabregas, and especially for me. And I was talking about it, and with someone else, and I was like, Fabregas could potentially be a leader. I wouldn't be surprised to see the captain's armband on him if JT was to leave. I personally wouldn't have a problem with it. I know some people kind of have this thing where they think that Fabregas is some sort of traitor. I think I've done that to death at this point. We clearly know he isn't. He was fighting for the team today, and he got the 2 goals, and for me always looked like a player who wanted to do something. If you look at the other side of the spectrum, so that a player like Oscar, for me, didn't deserve to be on the pitch today. Really was lacklustre, playing a massive part in West Ham's second goal, which is Carroll again, Andy Carroll. He's just so slow and always slowed the play down. And it's a bit of a shame, apparently Kennedy got injured at half time, and I thought, why is he bringing off Kennedy, one of our brightest young players, who looked like he wanted to make something happen? With Oscar, who consistently slows the play down, I wouldn't be surprised to see Oscar go in the summer, one of the players. I just don't think he's living up to the expectation I think a lot of us had. I think you had two sort of like mindsets from Chelsea fans towards Oscar. You had one mindset that was pretty much very negative on him, always doubtful of him, and you had kind of my side of the argument, or I always thought, this guy's got talent, I just want to see him develop it a bit more, and maybe with a full season without all this kind of international kind of tiredness he had and being overworked. But this season, once again, he hasn't really proved it, and it's a bit of a shame because I think at times he does show glimmers of real class. But yeah, we got back into the game. Ruben Loftus-Cheek, I've seen one replay of it, which pretty much shows that it's a kind of a blurry replay, but some people are saying it's either outside the box or Loftus-Cheek has tripped himself over. But going on to the ref today, which I think was a massive thing for both teams, absolutely diabolical, absolutely awful refereeing. I think it was from Bobby or Robert Madley, I think his name is, something along those lines. Absolutely shambolic, a clown at times, and I'm sorry for being so blunt about it, but he was. A disgraceful refereeing performance. Just had no control over the game. I could pick up many points, but I think one point that pretty much summed up his kind of control and lack of it, him and the linesman that was just below me in the game, was there was a moment after we scored our second where I think there was a handball from Fabregas, I think it was, and Payet got a free kick. There was about 2 or 3 minutes where there was just a huddle of players. The referee had no control over it. For 2 or 3 minutes was wasted, pretty much just a huddle of players arguing with each other. And that is absolutely shambolic. That is just literally, it's clown-like, it's hilarious at points how little control the referee had over that game. And Chelsea probably should have had 2 or 3 penalties. As I say, I'm going off of what I saw from the seats. I haven't seen the full highlights, and maybe when I see Match of the Day tonight, I'll be proven wrong. But from what I saw, just along with other than the big decisions, and it's kind of ironic, isn't it, that, we had 2, for me, clear shouts at a penalty, and the 2 times he doesn't give it, and in the third, which apparently isn't a penalty, he gives the penalty. I think that pretty much sums it up, and I think both sets of fans have a right to feel angry towards the ref in different ways, because I thought he was absolutely shambolic today. And I've gone on this channel over to death at my problems with refereeing. I think there's too many people, especially in the media, who sometimes can have a little bit of weight and influence on these types of things, who are just too lenient on refs, never call them out for their crap performances. We need video technology. It's obvious, and anyone who's trying to argue against video technology at this point, I'm sorry. I worry for your sanity, because we need video technology to help these refs out. They have no idea what they're doing. They consistently are making errors after error after error. It's costing us. It's costing teams. For me, it jeopardizes the way the league looks when you've got refs that just can't control a game. It's amateur stuff. We could go on for ages about refereeing, but overall 2-2. I'm not entirely too disappointed, but it's weird at this point because I want Chelsea to just finish as strongly as possible. Can we get into the Europa League? But I think there's mixed feelings on that. I talked about that a few weeks ago. Would you like to be in the Europa League? I'm a bit mixed on it, because I think it would be a good chance to play some youth and get some youth in there. But travelling to places, on Thursday night, will that affect the league? I have different thoughts on that. I think it's a little bit rubbish that, that on why Thursday, Sunday is different to Wednesday, Saturday. I've never really understood that, but we never know, guys. At least that'd be some sort of European football next season. But we're kind of strolling on to the end of the league now, just to see how it goes. But thank you guys so much for watching this video. As I said, I'm basically going to be free for the next 3 weeks. So hopefully I'll be getting a lot more uploads out for you guys right when Chelsea season has basically just ended. But thank you guys so much for your patience, for your support on this channel. Tell me, you guys, what would you like to see? Because, sometimes I'm thinking about maybe doing something else, discussion shows, podcasts maybe, or you call it a video podcast, on here, just discussing football with people like I like doing, and other stuff as well. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Follow me on Twitter at SonOfChelsea, and I'll see you again. Hello there, guys. What is going on? Son of Chelsea back here again for another video. It's time for my Q&A. Thank you guys for all of your questions that you submitted in the comments to that video that I left last week. Apologies to those that I couldn't read out, but right here, let's get straight into it.